Imagine a life where joy isn't a passing visitor, but a constant companion. A life where you feel hardly content and truly alive, even when challenging arise. But if the signs of happiness struggle that you can quietly, literally train your brain to be happier. Have you ever wondered why some people might genuinely happy even when life is tough, while others feel empty despite having it all? Science reveals we are troubling at predicting that what makes us happy. In fact, 50% of happiness is generally predetermined. 10% is based on circumstances, but 40% is within your control through daily habit. Picture this: two people in exact same situation, same job, same relationship, same lifestyle. One wake up excited, grateful, and energized. The other feel drained, anxious, or sad. How it possible that happiness can be different for people with what look like equal lives? What if the scariest lie not is our circumstances but how we train our minds? What if I told you that Harvard researcher followed 7,2,400 people over 80 years and discovered that one thing that makes people truly happy, and it's probably not what you think. It wasn't money, fame, or even success. And before you click away, think this is another just think positive video. Stick around because we have brought you to dive into the hardcore science that will completely change you how you think about happiness. Science say we can truly train ourselves to be happier. Have you ever thought, when I get that job, the house, the perfect relationship, I will finally be happy? What if I told you that much of how we before believe after happiness is completely wrong? We chase it in money, status, social media likes, but the truth is we are often running in the wrong direction. Isn't just psychological, this is science. In this video, we are diving deep into the science of happiness. Can we train ourselves to be truly happy? The answer might surprise you. What is happiness? Defined happiness not as moment of pleasure, but a sustained sense of well-being, measuring, and connections. Aristotle said over 2000 years ago, happiness is not a destination, it's a way of life. The ancient Greek called this eudaimonia, human flourishing. It's more than just a smile or a fluttering laugh. Happiness is the experience of joy or the positive will-being combined with a sense that one's life is good, meaningful, and worthwhile. Happiness is not something ready-made. It's come from your own action. But what's worth you get it wrong? Myth. Happiness is constant. No, happiness fluctuates. It's a spectrum, not a destination. Myth 2. You either have it or you don't. Science tells that 50% of your happiness is determined by genetics. 10% of your life circumstance, 10% of life circumstance, and here is the shocker: 40% is within your control. Myth third. We think happiness comes from success. We will be happy when, but studies show the reverse is often true. Happy people are more likely to succeed. Myth 4. Happiness is just luck or genetics. Reality. Happiness factors play a vital role. Research suggests that about 50% of depends on genes, but lifestyles and mindset accounts for the rest. The truth: happiness is a skill, and like any skill, it can be trained. Let's leave the lab for a moment and travel to Bhutan, a tiny Himalayan kingdom. Unlike the rest of the world, Bhutan does not measure success in GDP, gross domestic product. They measure GNH, gross national happiness. Fourth king of Bhutan, happiness is more important than economic growth. In Bhutan, government policies are designed to improve well-being, not just wealth. Meanwhile, in places like the US, GDP have increased significantly, but the past 50 years, but lives of happiness had. In fact, depression rates have skyrocketed. So, more money does not mean more happiness. Bhutan's four pillars of happiness include sustainable development, environmental conservation, cultural preservation, good governance. And guess what? Despite being economically modest, Bhutan ranked among the happiest nation in Asia. In the UN Happiness Report shows Bhutan constantly outrating wealthy countries. Why? Because they prioritize mental well-being or materialism. Their king declared the purpose of governance is to provide happiness. If not, it have no reason to exist. Dr. Susan Andrews, who studied Bhutan's model, found something remarkable. When a society prioritizes collective well-being or individual wealth, individual happiness actually increase. The numbers back it up. 97% of Bhutan's people report happy or very happy. Carbon negative country, they absorb more CO2 than they produce. Free healthcare and education for all citizens. Moderate 60% forest outrage. Inside your brain, happiness is not just a feeling, it's a chemical. Dopamine, your motivational chemical, released when you anticipate rewards and achieve goals. The reward chemical pleasure and motivation. Serotonin, your confidence and well-being chemical, low levels linked to depression. Endorphins, your natural high release during exercise, laughter and stress. The body's natural painkiller, pain relief. Why cannot buy happiness? But you can learn how to generate it. And the good news, the brain have neuroplasticity, means it can rewire to focus more on joy, gratitude, and presence. Research monk who have logged over 10,000 hours of meditation. When he put MRI scanners, something incredible happened. The left cortex, your brain happiness center, lift up like a Christmas tree. We are talking gamma wave activity 700 to 800% higher than normal people. These monks have literally rewired their brain for happiness. Happiness is a skill, just like learning to play an instrument or ride a bicycle. We can train our brain for happiness. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity. It can literally rewire itself based on experience. Well-being, yes, money matters to a point. Well-being continues to rise with income, but meaningful happiness still depends on purpose, relationship, and self-doubt. Here is a story. A school teacher earning modestly said in our documentary, "I might not have much money, but every time my students smile and succeed, I feel like a richest person alive." This fulfillment not for income, but in fact, it's okay. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. We think more money, more happiness, but post a certain point it stops helping. We adapt to our new financial status, that bigger house, that fancy car that provide a temporary thrill, but the novelty wears off. We quickly adjust our expectation and the new normal because just normal. Instead, research indicates that how we spend our money matters far more than how we have. Studies have shown that spending money on experiences like travel, concerts, rather than material obsessions, and especially on others, bringing significant, more lasting joy. It fosters connection, creating memories, and often align with our values. In 2010, research studied two groups: lottery winner who win 1 million and people who become in an accident. After 18 months, both groups reported nearly identical happiness level. The human brain ability to adopt is both remarkable and sobering. So why does not money buy happiness? Three main reasons. Social connection. We measure our wealth relative to others, not absolutely. Second, hedonic treadmill. We quickly adopt to new income level and want more. Third, time poverty. Higher earnings often sacrifice relationship and experience for money. And here is the kicker. People who spend money on others were happier than those who spend it on themselves. So if not money or status, what does increase happiness? A study conducted where people wrote down 3 things they were grateful for each week. After 10 weeks, 25% increase in happiness level, better sleep qualities, more optimistic about the future, increased exercise. Of kindness, volunteering boosts moods, lower stress, and even reduce mortality rates. Helping others boost your energy and then helping yourself. Exercise. Just 20 minutes of improvement increase endorphins mood for up to 12 hours. Social connections. People with strong social ties live longer, are healthier, and report greater life satisfaction. Mindfulness and meditation. Regular practice shrinks and boosts gray matter in area related to joy. 8 months of mindfulness meditation can reduce anxiety, deep relationship. The Harvard study of adult development over 80 years long found that good relationships are the one predator of long-term happiness. Good relationships keep us happier and happier after every time. Now let's talk about the happiness of social media. In 2020, a study in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology found that limiting social media to 30 minutes per day leads to significant improvement in well-being. Why? We compare our behind the scene to other lightning reels. FOMO, fear of missing out, creator anxiety and dissatisfaction. Attention, constant notification prevent deep focus and flow state. Validation addiction, extremely approval becomes more important than internal satisfaction. But if used mindfully, following positive creator, setting boundaries, social media can inspire rather than drain. Scrolling feels harmless, but studies show it's rewire your brain. A 2022 meta-analysis found a strong connection between high social media use and decreased life satisfaction, especially in teens and young adults. 40 minutes a day on Instagram, 25% higher anxiety and depression risk. Some people find a tiny positive link between social media use and happiness, but also small association with increased anxiety and depression, especially when doom scrolling or comparing lives. Students who use social media more than 2 hours daily showed 70% higher rate of depression. If every like, comment, and share triggered the small dopamine hit, your brain starts craving these micro reward, creating an addiction cycle. Social media hijack our brain reward system, making real world pleasure seems dull by comparison. But you don't have to delete everything. Research show these suggestions have turn off notification. Use app in do not disturb mode. Follow account that inspire rather than triggered comparisons. Set specific time for checking social media. Think of happiness like a muscle. Every time you practice gratitude, reform negative, and focus on meaning, you are strengthening it. Neuroplasticity means happiness is a skill. Try these workout. Week 1, Gratitude Foundation. Write 3 specific gratitude daily. Take photos of things that bring you joy. Send 1 thank you message per week. Week 2, Social Connection. Schedule face-to-face time with someone you care about. Practice activity listening. Put away devices. Join a group activity. Week 3, start with 5 minutes of daily motivations. Practice mindful eat for more meal daily. Take 3 conscious breath before responding to stress. Week 4, Flow and Growth. Identify activities that create flow state, learning something new for 20 minutes daily. Set goals that challenge but don't overwhelm you. Remember, your brain physically changes based on your repeated thoughts and actions. Research show that focusing on positive experiences for just 12 seconds help rewire them into your brain. Now let's be real. Happiness is not always a choice, especially when we are dealing with depression, anxiety, or trauma. Seeking therapy, meditation, or support is not weakness, it's a strength. It's okay not to be okay. Mental health is a destination, not a process. Emotional well being includes emotional regulation, self awareness, and resilience. It's not about feeling good all the time, it's about feeling fully. Happiness, mental health, and emotional resilience. Mental health is a spectrum, and it's okay to ask for help. According to WHO, 1 in 8 people worldwide live with a mental health condition. Working towards happiness does not mean ignoring sadness. It means building emotional resilience, creating space for joy and pain, and seeking help when needed. Therapy, mindfulness, support groups, they matter. This isn't about toxic positivity, it's about sustainable joy. If you are struggling, please reach out to a mental health professional or talk to someone you trust. Happiness is not pleasure, it's a purpose. It's waking up with meaning. It's knowing you matter. It's feeling connected to yourself, to other, to someone bigger. Happiness is not something ready-made. It's come from your own actions. Now, let's stop chasing happiness and start creating it. Maybe it's time to redefine happiness not as a constant smile at endless pleasure, but a presence, purpose, and peace. Maybe true happiness is laughing with a family over dinner, talking and walking with no phone, helping a stranger, being grateful for today, because in the end, happiness is not something we find, it's something we build. And ask yourself what makes you feel alive, not just entertained, because happiness, it's not destination, it's a practice, and your journey starts now. Drop a comment and tell me what make you happy. And remember, you can train your brain, you can choose joy, you can create your own definition of happiness. Stay curious, stay kind, stay human. Thank you.